Hello, Internet! My name is Catherine Barsonistis, and you're watching Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. Here at Munchies and Minis, we make recipes inspired by tabletop RPGs so you can have some dinner with your dice rolls. This episode, instead of attacking the darkness, we join it for some cheese and crackers, inspired by the world of Visigoths versus Goths. Long ago, the Visigoths sacked Rome in search of a homeland. But just last year, a careless suburban Goth with a Ouija board evoked an entire community of Visigoths into 1996 from the distant past. At first, the Visigoths were confused by the modern world, but they adapted quickly and soon opened their own stores in the mall. Their ultimate goal? To conquer the entire mall, and maybe one day, Los Angeles itself. In this role-playing game with spooky adolescents and teenage warriors, you can solve mysteries in a retro mall, flirt with many shop clerks, or both. There are a lot of bisexuals. Last episode, we vibed with the Visigoths, and now it's time for us to get spooky, as we cross over to the other side of the food court and face a feta worse than death. This Goth-owned artisan cheese shop features mahogany coffin display cases, malaise-inducing shopkeepers, and a Gorgonzola that's to die for. No, really, these curds have a way of turning folks into stone. I'm talking about today's first recipe, the Gorgon Medusa's Gorgonzola. Everybody ready? Roll for initiative. Most folks know of Medusa from the Roman poet Ovid and his account of Perseus, son of Zeus, sent to slay the snake-headed femme fatale to protect his mother from a forced marriage. Ovid's account recalls Medusa as a lovely maiden, violated by Poseidon in Athena's temple, then punished with a monstrous form and petrifying gaze. Earlier accounts by Hesiod, however, have her born the only mortal in a trio of Gorgon sisters, daughters of ancient chthonic sea gods. Grotesque and powerful, Medusa is Poseidon's lover, as well as the mother of Pegasus. Story differences aside, the Hellenistic world regarded Medusa's image as an apotreic or protective device, believing her gaze either stunned or averted the evil eye. It is fitting. The name Medusa means guardian or protectress, after all. So with that, I wanted this recipe for Medusa's Gorgonzola to act as an apotreic device on its own, with ingredients the ancient world used for protection from evil. First, set up your food processor with the blade attachment, and add 4 ounces of Gorgonzola cheese crumbles, 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, a cup of fresh basil leaves, and 4 cloves of peeled garlic. Secure the lid to your food processor and process till smooth. The word for basil may derive from the basilisk, a mythic crown-headed serpent known for its similar stone-turning gaze. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder believed basil to be a natural cure for this beast's venom. Garlic, on the other hand, we already know has antiseptic properties, but it was also considered a deterrent for the evil eye via its pungent scent, as well as being a favorite offering to Hecate, goddess of witchcraft and guardian of liminal spaces. Once fully blended, transfer the whipped Gorgonzola to a serving bowl. Smooth with a spoon. Then create a well at its center. Several Hellenistic poets, such as Ovid, Lucian, and Apollonius Rhodius, say that drops of Medusa's blood spawned coral in the Red Sea and serpents across the Sahara as Perseus flew over them on his way home. Blood giving life to things both beautiful and terrible? I can't think of anything less fitting for a Goths aesthetic. So with that, we'll be making some Gorgon's blood using pomegranate juice and honey to represent fertility, and fish sauce for a taste of Medusa's marine origins. Measure 1/4 cup of honey into a separate dish. Add 1 tablespoon of pomegranate juice and 1 teaspoon of fish sauce. Blend. Then pour into the well at the center of the cheese dip. Garnish with more drops of pomegranate seeds. And scatter fresh thyme, a protective herb used to cleanse Greek temples of miasma along the well's edge. And we're done making Medusa's Gorgonzola, a cheese dip that will stun you with a look and thrill you with a bite. Speaking of bites, though, I think this bowl of dreadful dairy could use some crackers. So let's move on to this next recipe, a beet and sesame cremation I'm calling Coffin Crisps. Given the funeral parlor decor of A Feta Worse Than Death, I wanted to incorporate ingredients associated with burial and mourning practices. Something earthy to remind us of the dirt that we become seemed appropriate, so we'll be using fresh beet. Also, it's red, like the satin lining of the coffin display cases. From there, we'll be adding sesame oil, as sesame seeds are blessed by Lord Yama, the Hindu god of death, and their oil is used in funerals to symbolize eternal life. Then, we'll spice it with some ground clove and black cardamom, a scent similar to incense. And finally, we'll also incorporate some rosemary for remembrance and sage for wisdom, essential aids to those in mourning. So let's get out that food processor again, folks. We'll be using the grater and blade attachments. First, peel a small to medium beet. Set up the machine with the grater attachment. Then shred it in the food processor. Transfer the grated beet to a mixing bowl. Next, replace the grater with the blade attachment. Add 1/8 cup of rosemary and 1 teaspoon of rubbed sage to the bowl, and return the beet to the food processor. Pulse until it resembles the mangled remains of your broken heart. Add 1 3/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon each of ground clove and black cardamom, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1/4 cup of sesame oil. Pulse to a texture of small breadcrumbs. At this point, gradually pour in a 1/4 cup of water, pulsing the mixture as you go until it forms a ball of dough. Turn out the dough into a mixing bowl and let sit for 10 to 15 minutes to contemplate its existence. Preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. When it's ready to face its fate, divide the dough into 4 balls. Lightly dust the dough on all sides with more flour. Then place one of the balls between 2 sheets of parchment paper. Roll 1/4 inch thick. Cut coffins from the dough and transfer to a parchment paper lined baking sheet. Repeat with the remaining dough. Once the oven is done preheating, bake the coffins for 15 to 20 minutes until lightly browned around the edges. Transfer to a rack and serve when the warmth fully drains from their corporeal form. Store the undevoured caskets in an airtight container. And here we are, Medusa's Gorgonzola and Coffin Crisps, the perfect cheese and cracker pairing for the discerning mole goth looking to dance with death, or at least invite him over for a casual get-together. Mm. Mm. Mine. You've been watching the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, or hit us up on Patreon or Ko-Fi for printable PDFs of today's recipes. In the meantime, thank you all for joining me here today. My name is Catherine Barsonistis, and as always, stay safe, stay sane, stay you. Sorry.